Do we call House of Gaa a stately drama that was dressed as an epic movie? Let's find out in today's review. My name is Christine from Nollycritic, and if this is your first time coming across our channel, we create content on everything and anything Nollywood. Now, in today's review, we're going to be talking about the movie House of Gaa. And if you know Bolanle Austen-Peters production, you know that they just gave us a blockbuster, Fumlayo Ransom Kuti, and shortly afterwards, they literally didn't even let us breathe. They're just like, okay, we have another one for you. But let's have a deep dive into that and of course the basics of the film. The movie was directed by Bolanle Austen-Peters and produced by her production company Bolanle Austen-Peters Production, and it was written by Tunde Babalola. The genre of this film is historical drama and the language is strictly Yoruba. It was released on Netflix July 26. House of Gaa is a historical action drama and it faces the turbulence of a ruthless kingmaker who faces downfall at the heart of his sons. I like how he took a distinctive approach talking about the family aspects of Gaa and of course the political aspects, just touching on different aspects and just showing that this is what went down at the time in this period. The plot of this film was set in ancient Oyo Empire. It gives us the chronicles of Bashorun Gaa. He was very prominent because of his victory over military coup against the Nupe army. This allowed for him to gain the Prime Minister title. He was crowned Prime Minister or titled Prime Minister by the Alafin. We'll just say that selfishness and power, greed, everything just came to play. The fact that he was brought into this title and he's now like wanting to have more authority and seeking help or gratification from the Oyo Mercy Council and even making him have issues with his own family. It was just very tricky, and I would say that Gaa was pretty much a selfish person. Like, he just wanted everything to be in his favor, work for himself, and just everybody just bowed to him because he's Gaa basically. But one thing I would say is that the unfolding of the story was very much fluid and chronological. I mean, we did have questions like, oh, why was this there and that? But I like the fact that they used flashback to tell the story of why exactly things happened this way. They didn't necessarily leave those very visible or notable stones unturned, because we saw that eventually this was the reason Gaa was doing these things and we needed explanations for that. And I'm happy that the filmmakers were able to pick this out and ensure that we were not left puzzling. Technical aspects of this film, first and foremost, I was so intrigued by the set design, the location. They really tried to depict that period in time, and I don't think that they necessarily failed at that. And what was more mind-blowing for me was when I had found out that this set was built from scratch just to suit this movie, like basically tailor-made everything to fit into the look and feel of the film. The costumes as well were very much believable. They were very ancient. It suited the time and it suits like what they were trying to achieve, how they had dressed the wives, how they dressed the kingmakers, the kings, everybody, the Oyo Mercy Council. I don't think there was anything in the costume makeup that I felt was a flop because they paid attention to those details. And of course, if you know BAP, you know that those are some places that they would thrive. However, we do have some issues about some certain aspects, like the graphic choices, the visual effects, like I had mentioned earlier, especially the violent parts. They were not as convincing as, maybe the set, the design, the costumes, and all of those ones that I would say they really aced. Because at the end of the day, despite the film's violent approach, I mean, we expected that this man was very much powerful. He was very much feared. Just lacked that visual intensity and gore, just to show that there's a battle ahead, there's war, whatever it is. But yes, just that whole greatness was not there. We'll also say that some of the props used in the film were very much inconsistent alongside unrealistic. I really don't understand how Gaa, I mean we do understand because it was spiritual, but it didn't just look realistic. That's the point we're trying to make about him transitioning from human to an elephant. I don't know, it just felt like could have been better. And I was obviously, for the standard of the production company and what we are just expecting, it just fell short in that aspect for us, and it wasn't just sitting right. But yeah, that's basically it. Now let's move on to the performances of this film, which is probably one of my favorite parts to talk about because a good number of them really did well. Yeah, the casting Femi Branch as Gaa himself, the main character, was not an excuse. In fact, it was probably one of the best decisions that the team made because he just bodied that character so well. The fact that I'm still angry at the, like, just like, I don't know, but I'm just pissed because it was just too real. And you just feel like, so this person is like this in reality, or you just want to, yeah, just kidding, but like you just want to actually not be in that space with that person. You're just like, you're just not a fan of that person in the film. Like, you don't like his character, but then you're a fan of how good he played it. Do you get? That's just how I felt about his character. I think that he showed the right emotions of being arrogant, being rude, being always vexed, and being feared. He just showed that I'm in charge, I have authority, I'm the leader, and don't talk to me, basically. I would say that the film is actually quite star-studded. I mean, I had mentioned that there was Femi Branch as the lead character, there was Bimbo Manuel, there was Funke Akindele, there was Toyin Abraham, there was Juliana Olayode, there was Micah Folarin, there was Teddy A, there was Bam Bam. We had Femi Adebayo, we had Lateef Adejimeji, we had even Stan Nze. There was also Yemi Black, Kunle Koka, Shewun Akindele, Ali Nuhu. Honestly, the list just goes on and on. And how can I even forget Tosin Adeyemi? I really liked her character, honestly. Tosin Adeyemi as Zainab literally just blew our minds. I really liked that she was a new face for me in the industry, and I was already impressed with her work. I just like seeing when, you know, people that you don't know are just doing it and in their element. And I really enjoyed seeing her in her element, seeing her in that character. Funke Akindele's character was very much noteworthy. The fact that we'd always see her in comic roles, it was good to see her break out of that and just still show us that, you know what, I'm still a very much versatile actress, so please do not stereotype me to those. Despite incorporating very engaging and emotional aspects, the film still somehow falls flat and does not engage profoundly on an emotional level. While the familial aspects and personal aspects were present, they were not still deeply felt or explored in this film. We also see that some plot points appear to be underdeveloped, and to be honest, some conflicts that could have just easily been resolved by dialogue or just, you know, a simple conversation. Basically, they took it all the way up top notch and just they're like shedding blood and all of that. But I guess that is what they were trying to go for, you know, showing that it was all about violence and everything. On the good side, it was quite interesting to see women in a fight scene. It just reminded me of The Woman King, and I like that that's something that was incorporated in this film. Although there were a lot of fight scenes that we had expected, it wasn't so convincing. Even the swords that they had used in the fight scene and everything, it was just very much rigid. You could just tell that they just picked up the props from theater and just came and just said like, okay, let's do this. So in that aspect of violence, I would say that they lacked believability. And even though the actors actually tried to just shove it out and just say, okay, you know what, we're going to give you the facial expressions to actually make you guys feel that we're killing people and everything, truth be told, the visual effects still sold it out. It still showed us that it wasn't real and it wasn't as convincing as. So probably if more attention was paid to that, then we can actually see and understand that, okay, this is the violence we're talking about, this is what we need to see. Ultimately, our final verdict of this film will be the fact that it gives a moderate viewing experience. I would say that it wasn't as intriguing for me, it wasn't as intriguing or just more as believable as Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, which I had gotten high expectations from because of that previous release. I know for some viewers it might have been very captivating to see. Regardless of all of that, it still falls short in its historical context and dramatic elements, those dramatic moments. Just needed to understand and see a very much more emotional, compelling journey. But yes, that's about that and what we think about the movie House of Gaa. I mentioned earlier that it's currently streaming on Netflix, so if you are interested in seeing it, then you know where to head to. And of course, please let us know your thoughts on this movie as well. And until next time, my name is Christine from nollycritic. Do well to subscribe to our channel, follow us on all social media platforms at nollycritic, and we will see you in our next video. Bye.